and welcome to another episode of my bullshit. Gonna jump right back into
Godspeed.
this hero playthrough. See what can be seen, do what can be done.
Let us press on.
Greetings, valiant stranger who has just burst into my life. I am the master of this house, Count Daron Kale, myriad mellifluous monikers Aronde. No need to introduce yourself. I find remembering insignificant details, such as the name of passing acquaintances, such a bore.
Word. I kind of felt the same way. Should've just kept your name to yourself.
Wow. Bonafide blue bloods and unparalleled aristocracy. All this makes me itch to do something really crass. Ooh, like blow my nose on the curtains.
What are you waiting for, my squamous squire? The curtains in this room are velvet, but we have some excellent silk ones with gold thread elsewhere in the house. Take your pick. My soft furnishings are yours to do with as you wish. I'm quite sick of the place, truly. I shall either sell it, or burn it to the ground and build a new mansion in its place.
Pomposity.
Now that we've finished with the niceties, tell me this. How did all those thrice-damned demons end up at my soiree?
Tenebris lies in ruins. Discari killed Terra Delev. The Wardstone has been captured, and you're asking me why demons gate-crashed your party?
Tenebris in ruins. Discari. Well, well, well. And I was already lamenting the lack of excitement at my little banquet. Although it must have been tolerable enough if we didn't get notice of a great hulking demon attacking a dragon just outside the window.
Mm-hmm.
It seems as though Discari's occasion was altogether more of a crush than mine, if you will pardon the pun.
What should I know about you, Count? Apart from the fact that you're highborn and very rich.
As a child, I had my very own pony, but I always dreamed of having a lamb. I was never allowed one. Sheep were seen as peasant animals, utterly unsuitable for the scion of a noble line. The trauma haunts me to this day. I think of it every time I have roast lamb for dinner.
Cute.
I'm sorry that happened to you. Such a sad story.
Shut the fuck up, Ember.
I had not even the slightest intention of upsetting such a lovely child.
I'm not lovely. Some people have even called me a scarecrow before.
That's patently absurd. Why, you can't possibly be a scarecrow with a crow following you around. I'm sorry if I failed to sate your curiosity. I loathe talking about myself to people I don't know, even more to those I do know. The only thing worth knowing, aside from the fact that I am highborn and filthy rich, is that I dislike Puritans and demons in equal measure. Well, perhaps
I've got a feeling
demons
that
a
he's
tad
also
more.
a vampire, but I'm probably wrong.
I have no friends here whose untimely demise I would care to mourn. The only alarming thing is how easily all this happened. I don't care for the thought that demons could come calling at my door at any moment. And just think, everyone had so much faith in the Wardstones gifted by Iomede's herald, and in the might of our tamed dragon, as if there had been no Dresden or a dozen other routes where the demons overcame every defense.
Yeah, well, that was with inside help, too.
The Arendes are one of the most ancient and noble families in Mendiv. They are related by blood to Queen Galfrey herself. The Count is the last remaining member of his dynasty. The rest all perished around 10 years ago. In the tragedy at the family seat, Heaven's Edge, the demons got past the defenses and massacred everyone inside.
I thank you for providing your friend with that helpful summary, my lady. I believe I've seen you before, with that hilarious buffoon Horgus Gwyrm. I sincerely hope you are not engaged in any kind of sordid arrangement with him. The thought of something so splendid in proximity to something so grotesque makes me feel quite ill. You deserve a better fate than that, no doubt.
Your civility knows no bounds, Count. I most assuredly do not have any arrangement with Master Gwyrm.
Yeah, you can go to the Defender's Heart. It's under protection of Erebeth, Tirabade, and the Eagle Watch.
I thank you for the invitation, but I am not quite as desperate as I may seem.
Oh?
At times, it is better to be surrounded by the repugnant mugs of demons than the sour and dour physiognomies of Iomede's righteous paladins.
I could see that.
What about my physiognomy? Sour enough for his lordship? Don't worry, another few minutes with the dazzling count here, and it'll sour like week-old milk.
What's this? An attractive paladin with a sense of humor? Either way, my mansion is now safe. I have a pair of half-decent guards. I just need to drag them out of the storeroom and bring them to their senses. I ordered them to drink a love potion, you see? For reasons which seemed extremely witty at the time and in the state of inebriation I then found myself in. They can guard the house while the valorous paladins beat back the demon assault. They will beat them back, yes? As regards myself, I feel like stretching my legs. I know rudimentary divine spells, I am no friend to demons, and I elevate any society that I deign to grace with my presence. I shall accompany you. Only for a short time, of course. I have no desire to remain at the vanguard for a protracted period. What say you, my ephemeral but highly diverting acquaintance? After all, Lord Descari spoiled my party. I now burn with the desire to spoil his.
Thoughts?
I don't like this guy much at all. Not even because of his personality, but just... I sense something dark about him.
He's probably evil chaotic, yeah.
I guess thumping him one next time he comes out with more aristocratic witterings is not allowed? All the more reason to take him with us. If we don't kill him, the demons surely will.
He has all these friends at his party, and he still looks so lonely. We can take him with us. Maybe it will make him feel better?
The Count's presence can only benefit us.
What? You're asking about whether to take this boy with you? The question lies outside the bounds of my interest. By the way, did you know that the young scions of noble families often sponsor the research of young scientists? What laudable passion for knowledge. True, the size of their donations bears a direct correlation to the hazardousness of the experiment.
Capital.
Deal.
Good acquaintances that begin and end at just the right moment often leave the most pleasant memories. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, sure. Whatever, bro.
I stand ready.
Oh, motherfucker.
We
I was
march
hoping
ahead.
maybe he would come through without any, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Our path leads
The
on.
corruption still hit him the same as it did anyone else. Sad state of affairs, really. Yeah, but it won't help much with the corruption. And that needs to be addressed. The negative connotations of it is just too much right now. Too much. It will take a long time, but we need to go. Evade him. Go. Ah, fuckers. Who is it? Who would meet me on the road? That would have been something I tried to catch, but okay. Fuck me. I hate how it always starts with an escape. It never starts with a, oh, this appeared. Oh, thanks. I guess I'll just have that escape on me then.
I won't let you hurt my friends.
Oh, there's a messenger.
This'll leave a bruise.
Shoot
Together
enemies
we
engaged in
stand.
melee combat, which makes them miss a lot. It's hard to hit a target that is fighting in the melee. All range attacks against such a target. Okay. Ah, that's good to know. Very good to know. Very good to know.
I will guide us.
Hello, messenger. I am Maida. I'm alive. Woo! Felt like I had half the abyss in Arilu after herself on my tail back there. The soldier sucks in a breath and releases it, clenching his fist to conquer the tremors. Commander Tirabade sent me to get you, and thank all the good gods I found you before it's too late. The commander wants you to come back and help protect Defender's Heart right away. What happened? Demons. The demons are closing in on the tavern. They'll soon have us surrounded. I almost didn't make it past them to come get to you. They could strike at any moment. They're closing in on the tavern, but noticeably enough that you had time to run for help. I see our enemies used up whatever reserves of stealth they had in their first assault on Kenabris. What need is there for stealth in a city one has already conquered? That's what they think, and that's what will bring them down. What are we waiting for? Let's go. Yes, let's go. We'll show those beasts. The Crusader tries to summon up his courage, but his face is paler than a sheet and his hands are shaking again. Boy, I sure hope we overcome this. Because my guys are hurting right now, and we got a lot of negative shit going on. And even if I could have stalled that, if I rested again, I might have gotten another fucking negative. And I can't do that. Definitely wouldn't win at that point. Pretty sure right now we're at -3 intelligence, wisdom, and fucking charisma, which is terrible. But all is honorable.
Godspeed.
You said demons. Where are they? I see the demons. You have lied to me for
Let
the
us
last
press on.
time. Oh yeah. What's going on? What's going on? Tell me that brought me inside. Okay, good. Oh, fuck. I need to sleep, motherfucker. The Defender's Heart greets you with the unexpected liveliness. Beyond the walls of the tavern, well, the once bustling and festive city lies in ruins, but somehow none of that can be felt within these walls. The people in the room are talking, laughing, raising toasts, even softly singing. It doesn't look like typical tavern revelry, nor is it the grim vigilance of recent days. Sela waves to you. She's sitting at a table with the trio you met previously. The knight, the half-elf, and the red-headed halfling. Renaud, come. Let me properly introduce you to Elon, Jana, and Curl, the fearless warriors of the League of the Inspiring Cart. The League of the Inspiring Cart! Sela pushes a mug of beer toward you and speaks softly. It was me who convinced Irabeth to use what Jana, Curl, and Elon found for a little party. If you look out the window, you might think end times have come and the abyss has devoured us all. I thought some simple pleasures, good food and good company could keep the gloom at bay. Sela looks at you hesitantly, as if trying to gauge your reaction. Have I ever turned down merrymaking and good company? Ha! Let's raise our mugs, my friends. Wait, I'm not ready for another toast yet. It's not every day that I drink with the paladins, knights, and sword lords. Hey, are we just going to sit here with grim faces? I say we get to know each other a little better, so we have better reasons to toast. Tell me about you and your order, Alan. As stories go, it's not very entertaining. I was born far to the south in Andoran. I lost my parents early, led the life of a simple mercenary, but often questioned the path I had chosen. I'm proud of my sword skills. I enjoy training in drills, and I'm not afraid of battle. But risking my life for coin, it takes a special mindset to choose that lot with no regrets. You have to want to risk your blood. I saw too many of my friends die, and I wondered if it was worth it. So in the end, I decided to choose another path. Now, if I'm going to lay down my life, at least it will be good for a good cause. That's how I ended up in Mendev and became a squire for the Houndhearts. It's a small order, but by tradition, it never has more than 12 members, and a new member is only knighted after one of the elders dies. We patrol the lands along the Wardstone line and provide aid to travelers and settlers. Unfortunately, death is common among the Houndhearts. I became a full knight 2 years ago after laying my mentor to rest, but I'm content with my choice. My place is among the Crusaders. Have you been serving in the Eagle Watch for long, Jana? I signed up 4 days before the demon attack. Am I lucky or what? Jana lets out an overly boisterous laugh. I'm an apprentice of a famous fencing master from Mivan, and I learned a thing or two from him, believe me. I soon got bored of fighting off bandits and getting involved in the petty squabbles of the bickering river kingdoms. I wanted a proper challenge, and you can't find a better place than Mendev. And what do you know, the moment I arrived, the demonic invasion began. My father would say that's no accident. Fate brought me here. What about you, Curl? How did you end up among the condemned? I just did what everyone else was doing. I grew up in the slums where everyone stole a little, maybe smuggled or guarded stashes, so Curl stares into his mug gloomily. But I never killed anybody, and I never did anything really bad. I got caught stealing, and then when they made me choose between prison and the condemned, well, of course I didn't want to go to prison. I'm not that good a fighter, but as Norgorber is my witness, a thief can also be used in a war against demons. I've always been a good scout. I can sneak under the nose of any monster, but I don't know where my friends are now. We got separated when the demons rampaged through the city. Chin up, friend. Whoever you were in the past, you're our friend now. And a crusader. Your skills will be useful to us, you'll see. How do all of you know Sela? I met Noble Sister on the road to Kenabris. I was returning from the south from my fiancé, and was happy to be in the company of a paladin of Iomeda. We said our farewells at the city gates, and I went north along the road to Dresden, to my order's camp. Ellen's face grows grim at the mention of the camp. The demons attacked us there at the same time they struck Kenabris, but we managed to fight them off. We hurried to the city's aid and joined forces with the Eagle Watch. All my fellow Houndhearts were wounded during the battle in the streets. I'm the last knight of my order who can still fight. It's so good to see Sela again. Every loyal heart counts these days. I met Sela at a tavern in Kenabris, before the attack, of course. She was one of the few who would sit at a table with the condemned. Knights usually don't even look at us, but Sela is different. I knew it the moment I saw her. That's what made me notice Sela too, so I sat down to talk to her. I never understood why everyone treated the condemned so horribly, and I still don't. Our Curl is a great lad, so after that night Sela and I went round the taverns together every day. Mendev is an amazing place. People from all over the world come here, for glory, redemption, or to help those in trouble. And they always find each other. This might be the best place in the world to find like-minded people and friends. That was a toast, in case you didn't notice. Sela, did you call me over just because, or is there something wrong? I didn't just want to talk about today's celebration. You see, Alan is in trouble. And I want to help him. And I don't know anyone else in the city I can turn to. His fellow knights were all wounded in the battle. Elon shakes his head. Bad idea, sister, I told you. I don't want to bother anyone else with my problems. I need to handle them on my own. Oh, come on. Hiding your sadness from your friends is no way to live. Curl is right. Renaud helped me find you. Without his help, I'd still be looking for you all over Kennebrus. So, Elon, come on. Stop being so stubborn. Tell me more. The young knight shakes his head. In all truth, I do not wish to impose. My problems are just minor troubles. A paladin of Ayameda and her friends certainly have more important things to do. Especially now that Kennebrus has been overrun with demons. I mean, you got a point. If I've learned anything in life, it's that there's nothing minor about good and evil. Sela begins seriously, but then a smile lights up her face. Take the three of you, for example. It seems like all you did was save one cart from some lesser demons, but look how many people are happy now. That feat will never be sung in songs, but who knows, maybe thanks to this one joyous hour of peace and rest, the defenders of Kennebrus will find the strength to protect the city. Sela catches her breath. I talk too much, don't I? Well, Sir Elon, I wanted to help you, and my reputation as a holy warrior of Ayameda won't suffer if it's more of a minor adventure than a glorious feat. The knight sighs and seems a little embarrassed. All right, I'll explain. The life of a crusader has given me more than just a purpose and a chance to serve a righteous cause. When I abandoned the life of a mercenary and came to Mendev, I gained something else I never expected. It's here that I met, may all the ladies here forgive me, the finest girl in all the world. It's a miracle she found any love in her own heart for a bungler like me, but I'm not about to let this miracle go. Not even the demon lord Discari and all his demon army can stand in my way. Luckily, my beloved is now safely away from Kennebrus. For half a year I've been getting up the courage to propose to her. I even ordered a ring from Derek Sunhammer, the best jeweler in Mendev. Independent nightly orders live mostly off donations, and I'm not what you would call rich. So I want to help. I want to make Kiana happy. Oh, and it took me 3 months to find a jewel the same shade as her eyes, and twice that long to scrape together enough money. Master Derek's work was worth it, but I lost the ring during the demon attack, and I'll probably never find a worthy replacement. The ring is most likely still at the Houndheart's camp outside the city. Elon and his friends didn't have time to pack up their camp. First the demons ambushed them, and then they rushed off to help Kennebrus. I think we should at least go there and chat. Not right now, of course, but once the situation in the city's under control. What could we run into in this camp? My friends and I killed 2 large demons attacking the camp, then rode straight to the city without spending any more time cleaning up the rest of their band. There was only a few imps, but they might still be at the camp. Of course, this was a while ago. Our camp was attacked at the same time as the wardstone in the main gate, so I haven't been back there since. Fine, I will help. Thanks for agreeing to help. Elon is a good man and a true knight, and I think the world should repay those who are so devoted to doing good. Let's help him so he can propose to his beloved the way he wanted. Sela, I hope you can convince Irabeth to let me go with you when you do this. I don't want to be parted from my friends. Of course, if the League of the Inspiring Heart has come together in this dark hour, we must continue onward together.
We march ahead.
Rest. Rest. Come on. I was like, what's going on?
Our path leads on.
Everybody's healed. Fatigue's gone. Hopefully the corruption's gone.
I will guide us.
Okay. Alright. No thanks. Hey. Irabeth's sword has been honed to razor sharpness. She's on edge, evident in the way she checks the fastenings on her armor over and over. Thank you for coming to our aid. Ready yourself, the attack is imminent. The blade we have and the help of a fine swordsman such as yourself will be invaluable. We're expecting an entire horde of enemies attacking from every possible angle. I don't think you need me to tell you how to fight in those conditions. Also, please keep in mind, according to my sources, a master alchemist called Othiribo has recently arrived in the city. He's a well-known character among demon worshippers. We don't expect him to show up personally, but thanks to him, the cultists have been able to prepare a whole cart full of incendiaries. They will try to burn the defender's heart to the ground. The arsonists are the main target. Keep an eye on them and take them down first, or they'll burn everything to the ground, basically. Alright. I'm ready to defend this place. Let's do it. Oh, maybe I'm not. Maybe I should check my equipment real quick. But I just realized I have like 2 people here I haven't done anything with since I got them. It also doesn't look like I have anything for them either. Oh, this isn't good. This isn't good at all. Well... Oh, actually I can level him up right now anyway, so I might as well. He's an oracle. You know what? We're gonna get inflict moderate wounds because then we can heal my vampire and hurt somebody versus just healing. No, he's all set. Man, this is just not a good look all around. She's all set too. Alright, I guess we're just ready to go in.
I will not falter.
Let's do it. I remember this battle not being easy on my evil playthrough, so we'll see how this goes down. I just gotta remember to split my guys up, so to pause, position, pause and position. And unlink them too, because that's a big thing.
Do not fear. Do not waver.
Already paused. Put all of my bow guys up here. I can't remember if she's got a bow, but we're just gonna throw her up here for safekeeping anyway. I'm gonna link these 3 up. Press go, let them get to their spot. And she does. Excellent. They'll take care of all that. Hey, you know, you guys need to be over here helping defend me. Alright. Yeah, help defend this gate. Well, be the second tier of things they have to go through. The first guys can sacrifice themselves for the good of the cause, you know.
I'll cut you wide open.
I don't want to lose any of the defenses either.
Strike as one.
You guys will be more use over here. No, you guys come back over here. What are you doing? This guy's coming down the stairs right now.
Attack!
Completely surrounded. Oh no! We should be kicking ass right now.
I'm sorry I have to do this.
Alright. Camellia. Hit yourself with some healing there. Continue. All those guys are blind. Should have been blind. Come on, man.
The Imperator.
What are you all doing? Why ain't you attacking?
This pain is...
We shall overcome.
You need me to click on everything? Damn. Start attacking. Pause. Hit that again. We've got what? Go. I was gonna say, hopefully we get her before they kill her. Nice. Yeah. Trashing these guys.
Did you see that?
Oh. Moidalizing
The
them.
world in crimson.
Moidalizing them. They got no chance at this point. Not unless they bring some crazy stuff out. They got no chance. Oh shit. We kind of still have to keep this front gate going because that's where most of the alchemists are attacking from, so don't really have a choice but to keep my guys right there. At least they're all at full health. I'm gonna pull them. See what I can do about coming over here. Yeah, that sounds like a smart idea. Oh my god, look at them all. Come on guys, I need you guys to hurry up. Run through these guys.
Your performance is lacking.
Oh my god.
Lacking.
We gotta kill that thing. Let's go, everybody, let's go. Everybody at once. After this thing. Oh fuck. Alright. Who can do what right now? Who's where? Definitely hit that. Oh, bitch, you gotta hurry up. Go help. Where is she? Go help her. Enlarge my boy over here. You need to put She's dead. No. This isn't good. This isn't good. Fuck it. Everybody magic up. We need some buffs for sure.
Continue fighting.
Out of my sight.
Continue fighting, everyone.
Oh, what the hell? Why isn't anybody going after this guy? Okay.
Continue fighting.
God. Oh my god.
The light, take you.
Continue fighting, everyone.
Holy crap. No, we gotta get over here.
The inheritor, guide my blade.
Arsonists, get them.
Continue fighting, everyone.
Contemplate on your mistakes.
Oh no, I lost one. Get out of here.
You are today's sacrifice.
No, we gotta get these guys. Get these guys. What are you doing? The arsonists are the ones that matter. Get them. Chase him off. Oh, you suck. Me and my fucking big mouth. You gotta send something big to me. I'm guessing you guys know where you're needed, right? Okay.
Go for their heart.
The light, take you.
I'll cut you wide open.
Guide my blade.
Forgive me for this failure.
Oh man, we're fucked. 2 of my guys, 3 of my guys. Oh no. Everybody back up to here, back up to here. Everybody in Lincoln, get the fuck back here. Get back here. Why isn't anybody coming back?
I'm alright.
Everybody is linked. Why can't I click where to go? What's going on? Oh, they got him. So I guess, you know, at least that.
Your pain
Man,
is my pleasure.
we are not doing too hot. Oh, is that the last guy? Hallelujah! Oh. Well, the cool thing is I didn't make it through the first time with my evil playthrough, and I think he's stronger, so I'm surprised I made it through the first time this one. It's by the skin of my fucking teeth, but still. My goodness. What are our losses? Victory. Kennebress bites back and our teeth are sharp. Irabeth is glowing with zeal and she raises her fists in triumph. Now we take the fight to them. What are our losses? Minimal. The battle wasn't easy, but thanks to you we chewed them up and spat them out again. They thought they could break us, but they only bolstered our spirits. Will there be another attack? Fucking duh, there's gonna be another attack. I doubt it. Demons aren't famed for their organization. We'll strike a blow at the garrison long before they regroup for a new assault. Right now, maybe. Congratulations on the victory! It wouldn't have been possible without you. That reminds me. We found this among the attackers' remains. This trophy rightly belongs to you. Nicely done. Now our goal is to rout the demons to the Grey Garrison just like we did here. Heavy flail of weakness. Nothing I'll be using. That's going right into the sell pile.
Godspeed.
Okay. Oh, my guy still has the giant spell going.
Let us press on.
I would have banged the shit out of my head right there. Alright, let's see what we got that we can drop off. A nice little bit of weight here. There we go. I'm just going to automatically drop off anything magical. These are things I would definitely use if I have someone to use them with. Otherwise, everything else is to sell, because none of the rest of it matters. It's all bullshit. I will put all my ingredients in here. Why is it skipping every other one? That's weird, but okay. Oh no, 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 I'm not done yet. Bah. Put my pets in there too. And all of these things because I know that old guy is gonna want to look at them. Go to this guy. Yo, bro. Can I sell you some stuff? Thanks. Here you go. Now I'm gonna have to double check that because I think there's a lockpick set in there. And I don't want to be getting rid of those. Yeah, no, I'm not getting rid of those. What? Wild. Why is that even an option? Yeah, nope, that's fine. So 301 pounds off my back. Thank you.
I will see this through.
Oh, I need to talk to her about way too much. I don't even want to. Alright, Irabeth. I thank you for saving the esteemed citizens of Kennebrus, even though not all of them deserve to be saved. Iomade, forgive my words. Irabeth casts a meaningful look at Count Arunde sitting at a nearby table. I don't really mean that, of course. I just never fail to be astounded by the way that good people seem to perish, while the not-so-good prove to be incredibly, amazingly enduring. What's your problem with Darren? Is there bad blood between you two? Oh no, nothing like that. I think he dislikes all paladins equally, but the real question is, who does he like? Only his hangers-on, I'd wager. The Count has a certain reputation in Mendev. He's not a pleasant individual by any means, but he's not known for any particular villainy either. The Count enjoys a life of leisure, surrounded by a gaggle of sycophants who are always eager to badmouth the Queen at his command. He likes settling scores, too. There was a hero of the First Crusades, Sir Lant, a kind and honest man. After the end of his glorious career as a soldier, he became a wise mentor to the younger generation. He ran afoul of the Count somehow, perhaps by lecturing him about his idle lifestyle and a lack of purpose. When Sir Lant died, the Count managed to buy a portion of his estate and ordered the knight's helmet to be reforged into a chamber pot. And of course, he didn't keep his little joke private. The Queen was particularly affronted by it because Sir Lant used to be her most loyal comrade in arms. I was there receiving an assignment from Her Majesty and witnessed the exact moment she found out about the helmet's fate. It's a small thing, but I could see the Queen's anguish at the travesty that had been made of her friend's legacy. That's what our Count is like as a person. And as for his talent for survival, do you know the story of Heaven's Edge? He was the only member of his family to escape with his life when the demons unleashed a magical plague at the Arunde estate. Could you tell me more about the events at Heaven's Edge? I don't know all the details. It happened a while ago, back when I was a mercenary and had nothing to do with Kennebrus. I only know that there was a grand feast in honor of Darren's birthday, and all his relatives were invited along with a few other distinguished guests. Everyone died from a mysterious disease someone had unleashed on the estate, including the servants, the guards, and a number of clerics and paladins. But the young Count survived, because of his healing ability, I suppose. Darren does possess an unusually brilliant talent, even if the application of his skills leaves much to be desired. Why is he trying to provoke the Queen? Who knows, it could be some family matter. The Count is Her Majesty's cousin twice removed or something like that, but I think he simply enjoys infuriating people. Crusaders and Iomeda's servants especially. Thank you for telling me all this. My pleasure. I'm sorry you had to endure my grumbling. Watching these things happen to my city has put me in a foul mood. I found Jenna Aldori like you asked. Yes, thank you. It's good to have her back. We need every fighter we can get. Irabeth frowns. I suppose it's too much to want fighters that are sober as well. Yeah, it is, bitch. It is. Go. May Iomade keep you safe.
Our path leads on.
Got no reason to talk to you, I guess. We've got nothing more to talk about. Whenever I sleep outside the walls of Defender's Heart, I'm plagued by terrible dreams. Could you help me? The priest studies your face carefully. You look tired, but otherwise entirely healthy. If we were anywhere else, I would simply tell you to get some rest, but we are on the border of the world wound, and I'm all too aware of what's happening to you. As you know, the wound is a rift between Galarian and the Abyss, and all the evil that feeds the Abyss does the opposite in our world. It feeds on Galarian. So is it that, even when we cannot see demons near us, our ultimate foe, the Abyss, is always surrounding us? Many soldiers fighting in the world wound experience similar things. They suffer terrible nightmares, get no peace, and sometimes even lose their minds. But we are trained to help you with this affliction. By the will of Abadar, I have consecrated an altar here. The god's grace permeates the space around it, soothing one's soul and quieting thoughts during rest. So if you find your nerves are fraying, seek out a holy place like this, approach it, and all the corruption will be cleansed from you. Oh, well thank you, man. I needed that. Yeah, I definitely needed that. Then yo. Boy, am I pleased with you. I asked you to bring me to safety, and that's exactly what you did. Indeed, having a follower to aid me is the most efficient and frankly pleasing. With you on hand, I shall conquer new horizons, plumb the depth of knowledge hitherto unknown, and scale the dizzying heights of future discoveries. Nenyo stops to catch her breath. What I mean is, I would like to express my deepest gratitude, or foresee immense potential in our future cooperation. Do you always express your delight so effusively? What? Who are you? Nenyo stares at you for a while, bewilderment in her eyes, but then is replaced by recognition. Oh yes, my new follower. So what am I supposed to do? Oh yes, I must provide some verbal encouragement for your as-yet modest achievements and try to induce you to strive for more of such encouragement. That is the principle that underpins any training. She frowns, but only for an instant. Ah, I see. Your modest nature was unsettled by the overabundance of my gratitude. I do apologize for putting you in such an awkward position. I will never praise you again, unless I forget. But let's get back to the business at hand. Your new assignment will be to take me to the inconspicuous ruins that are located in an even more inconspicuous valley lying between Kennebrus and Dresden, as soon as is reasonably practicable. I'll mark the place on your map with a large red cross so you won't forget it. What's so special about these ruins near Kennebrus? I'm glad you asked. This is my greatest hypothesis, my secret project, and I won't pass up the opportunity to share it with you because you are my most loyal follower and you are worthy of possessing such knowledge. Nenya rubs her nose, and also because you're the first person to ever ask me about it. Some time ago, I was walking around the border of the world wound, and I met a strange person. He was wearing a frayed gray robe, and his face was hidden behind an odd white mask. Of course, I didn't miss this opportunity to ask him about the reasons for his absurd appearance, and do you know what he said to me? He said, "I'm the answer, but what is the question?" And then he walked off in the direction of the world wound. The next day, after I'd already forgotten about the first encounter, I had another similar encounter. This time I'd met an elven woman, judging by the pointy ears sticking out from behind the mask. "I am the answer, but what is the question?" she said, before taking off towards the world wound, and now I realized everything became clear to me. Oh no. Poke it, come on. Nice. I know a mystery when I see one. Consider this one of my myriad talents. Nenya rubs the tip of her nose. After all these geysers weren't simply on their way to a costume party, were they? After examining several maps, I determined that they were all heading in one direction, to a place not far from Kennebrus, a place which is marked as nameless ruins, even on ancient Sarkorian maps. That's where I need to go. Unraveling the secret of that place will be my greatest discovery. It will secure my place in history, or perhaps even in legend. How do you know where we have to go? Do you know how to find a beehive in a forest? You need to catch 2 bees, set them free in 2 different locations of the forest, remember the directions they fly, and then you take a map and drawing lines showing the bees' routes. A place where the lines intersect will mark the location of the beehive. Fascinating, yes? By the way, forest bees do not make any honey. I used the beehive principle here too. For a couple months I tracked the strange people in the masks and observed the direction in which they were traveling. I collected the coordinates, mapped out their estimated routes, I made a discovery. All the routes intersected at the nameless ruins not far from Kenebris. What do you expect to find there, though? I haven't the slightest idea. If I knew what was hidden there, I wouldn't be so eager to go. These ruins aren't very far from Kenebris. You could easily get there all by yourself. Why do you need me? Nenyu's eyes seem ready to pop out of their sockets in surprise. Don't you see? This is a legendary secret place. Who knows what may happen to me after I lift the veil and uncover the workings of the universe? My mortal body may be unable to contain all that knowledge, or perhaps I will ascend and become equal to the gods themselves. I need you to write down everything that happens and report my fate to the interested parties in Absalom. And don't forget to praise me as I deserve while you're there. You know, these ruins of yours may turn out to be just that, runes. Nenyo shrugs. In that case, we'll write this experiment off as a failure and start another one. I don't know which experiment I'll try next. I guess that's all I wanted to know about your task. Well, now you know. So off we go. Nenyo frowns. Did I just make a rhyme? Perhaps I've discovered poetic talent in myself. Let's conduct an experiment. Quickly, say any word and I'll try to rhyme it for it right away. Science. That's when thinkers make alliance, intellectual defiance. Not the best rhymes, don't you think? Well, this experiment was unsuccessful. We learned that I have no poetic talent at all. Nenyo sighs. But it's no reason to despair. Having a gift of poetry in addition to my inexhaustible intelligence would have been a little too much. Besides, I'm catastrophically busy and have no time to spend on writing poetry. I don't like when you call me boy. My name is Renaud. On the grand scale of world history, your name is irrelevant. I have no reason to remember it. You see, the brain of any given individual can only contain a limited amount of facts. I only expend my memory on things that are truly important. The laws of thermodynamics, divine aerostatica, planar geography, things that will lead Golarion to a brighter future. And then you rubs her nose. Besides, what if I make a great discovery, but I won't be able to remember it because my memory is full of outdated or useless information? What a nightmare that would be. What a loss for the whole of Golarion. Golarion. Are there any names worth remembering? There are, and to my deepest regret, there are too many of them. Nenyo heaves a sigh that would befit a grief-stricken old man. The names of gods and demigods, the names of rulers, conquerors, and other persons by some reason deemed great by the people of Golarion, they etch their names into history, and alas, every self-respecting educated person must know them. But there are some names I'm happy to remember, great scientists, some of them divine, others mortals, true keepers of knowledge and great experimentalists, the pioneers of knowledge, Erori, Nethys, Arilu Vorlesh. Arilu Vorlesh opened the World Moon. She's the betrayer of humanity. It's kinda her fault that demons invaded Golarion. Oh yes, she is the greatest of the greatest. Just imagine, she managed to open a rift from Golarion to the Abyss. No one knew how, no one believed it possible, no one even dreamed of such a thing. And she just did it. It was the experiment of the century. Nenyo wipes a tear from her eye. I would have been so happy if I could have been in her place. Of course, some part of Golarion's population died as a result of her experiment, and the Crusaders are still wrestling with its consequences to this day, but the very essence of what Arilu managed to do was a breakthrough of cosmic significance, both figuratively and literally. Sooner or later, the world wound will be closed. Peace will return to Golarion. As for the victims of the ongoing war, they will be remembered as unfortunate but unavoidable sacrifices made at the altar of science. That's an interesting way to look at things, though I'm not sure the Crusaders would agree with you. Nenyo blinks at you, perplexed. Were we talking about something? Huh. But you remember your own name, right? Only so I know what to put for an author's name in my encyclopedia. Tell me about yourself. I'm an explorer, a pilgrim, a yet-to-be-recognized scientific luminary, future author of Encyclopedia of Golorionica, and rector of all Absalom's universities at once. Future rector, I should say. And then he speaks in one breath as if reeling off a practice monologue. That information should be enough to satisfy your curiosity, because I doubt I'll be able to tell you more than that. Where are you from? That information is irrelevant. I've decided to forget it. Okay. How did you become a scientist? That information is irrelevant. I've decided to forget it. Jesus. You have a circle tattooed on your shoulder. What does it mean? Oh, that? I do not remember the circumstances of its creation, but I like it. I prefer to think of it as a zero, null, nothing, a center point, an origin of coordinates. It reminds me of how much the unknown world there is to explore. Don't you remember how you got this tattoo? That information's irrelevant. I've decided to forget it. How can you just decide to forget important pieces of information? This is just one of my many talents. The secret is to stop thinking about the thing you want to forget, and the main thing is to not remember anything you don't need, to filter it, to get right to the essence. I'll teach you someday, unless I forget. What is this encyclopedia you're working on? The Encyclopedia Galactica will be published in 100 volumes, 1,000 pages each, plus the author's addenda, appendices added by future co-authors and critical commentaries. Addenda indexation is still in question. Nenyo looks slightly embarrassed. I just like the number 100, but I'm not sure that I'll be able to keep with the established word limit. It will be a magisterial piece of scholarship that will become a part of the mandatory curriculum of every educational institution worth mentioning. In it, I intend to describe every object, item, event, fact, and personality that is present on, or at least somewhat related to, Galarian. My calculations show that I've completed no more than 1% of this monumental book. Do you remember your parents, your past, or is all that irrelevant too? All of it's irrelevant on the grand scale of world history. I have no reason to remember such things. Forgive me for saying this, but you're out of your mind. Nenyo stays silent, gives you a puzzled look. What were we talking about? I'll stop torturing with you. Yeah, I'm gonna just take off right there.
I will guide us. Godspeed.
For an autumn haze, the elf's pale, beautiful face bears an expression of melancholy detachment. How may I help? I met Kalissa. Forn's melancholic expression remains calm, but his entire body tenses and his fingers wrap around the handle of his weapon. Under what circumstances? I hope you seized the opportunity to kill her. She claims she doesn't serve the demons. Of course she does. In an attempt to buy her life, she would stoop to the boldest and most egregious of lies. Whose word do you trust, hers or mine? Are you certain of your allegations? He lowers his head and says in a hollow voice, I am. Her misdeeds are terrible and proven with absolute certainty. Yeah, well, you know, I let her go. Your decision is regrettable. I'm afraid that in doing so you condemned her many future victims to death. I suppose it just means that bringing this hunt to a close falls on my shoulders. Good fortune to you.
Let us press on.
Okay. Well, that's what happens when you lay on your ass and tell somebody else to do it. The Defender's Heart is a splendid choice for the Crusaders' outpost. The very sight of these walls bring back fond memories of drinks and revels. The drinks were really good, by the way. People say that you're deliberately trying Queen Galfrey's patience. Is that true? Does it even matter? All of Mendevian high society has declared war on me. They either despise me or they're trying to steer me back onto the right path, and I'm doing everything in my power to keep them on their toes. I relish the prospect of all the fun this mess in Kenabris will bring. Darren grins from ear to ear. I shall either commission a song about the great Kenabris fiasco from a certain talented bard, or confuse the jewelers with a rather tall order, a batch of silver dragon toys with detachable heads. Give me a week and they'll be in every shop in the capital. You should make sure it's really easy to rip the wings off your dragon trinket as well. Kids are going to love it. So be it. From now on, you are my muse. May I ask you a few personal questions? You can try. I've heard stories about the tragedy that befell your family. I hope you don't feel obliged to offer me your sincere condolences on this unfortunate occasion. My whole family, my entire noble line, they all died. And demons are to blame. It's not like I actually loved any of my relatives except for my mother, but what's gone is gone. The family crypts are full of corpses, and all covered in dust in the shadows of the past. What do you cherish most in life? There are far too many things that I cherish to fit them all into a single conversation. Believe it or not, but I might be one of the most life-loving people you've ever known. Darren smiles. His eyes are gleaming with something different from his usual impudence and irony. There's a dreamy air about him all of a sudden. I rarely meet anyone who embraces the joys of living as enthusiastically as myself. There are so many exciting and beautiful things in the world. It should be illegal to waste your time on anything you do not enjoy. And I am not afraid to repeat that to anyone's face, should it be Discari and his demonic herd, or Iomeda, the Lightbringer herself. And what do you hate the most, bro? The feeling of helplessness, the lack of control over my own life, Darren replies without thinking. Then he adds with obvious sarcasm, and onion rings, of course. I'd murder the person that came up with those abominations. Onion rings are bomb. What? What? You don't seem especially keen on helping people, but your knowledge of healing is truly impressive. What prompted your interest in that? If you really want to try everything life has to offer, you also have to understand how to deal with the consequences. And I'm not talking about a simple hangover, mind you. Do you have any good stories about your past exploits? I've got plenty, but I have to warn you that even the most outrageous debauchery sounds far less thrilling when you're not the one doing the debauchering. Still, since you asked, I suppose the worst mess I've ever gotten myself into is when I staged my own kidnapping. I once in correspondence with one of the Riverland nobles, the young Lord Lebeda, and he told me about his days as a hostage to a group of bandits. This made me wonder what it would be like, and I thought that might be fun to set up a little experiment. I engineered my own kidnapping by a certain gang through a chain of intermediaries and hired actors. Those fellows took the job very seriously. They caught me by surprise, killed my 2 bodyguards, and even tied me up. Of course, the whole thing seems preposterous now, but it seemed like an ingenious idea at the time. The employers had told the kidnappers that they were to keep me safe and sound, and another group of mercenaries in disguise was watching the spectacle from afar, ready to interfere in case anything went wrong. It turned out to be a terrible idea nonetheless. It wasn't the least bit fun or exciting. Sure, those bandits had been unable to torture or hurt me physically in any way, but they had plenty of other non-invasive methods of humiliation at their arsenal. Taking almost all of your clothes off and splashing ice-cold water all over you, for example. Ugh. I can't even remember if I said anything truly offensive to provoke them. Even though I initially planned to let them go after the ransom, their overly emotional reactions made me change my mind. I told my mercenaries to hang them all on the spot. I suppose the whole ordeal taught me a very valuable lesson, which is that I'm not built for hardships and trials. Damn, you're a heartless motherfucker. Say life's too short to not try out everything you can. I shall console myself with that thought. So that was a stupid story, and now I'll tell you a truly brilliant one. Prelate Helrune had always strictly prohibited any public celebrations in Kenabris, and he always picked on me for my lack of respect for the fallen and whatnot. His grumbling annoyed me so much that one day I drove 4 barges into the city harbor and set up a celebration on their decks. The ships on the river didn't fall into the prelate's jurisdiction, you see, so all he could do was snarl at me from the embankment. I, for one, did not forget the old boy. The main attraction of the festivities involved an Inquisitor of Iomeda dancing and roasting beautiful witches on illusionary bonfires, taking off his clothes with every new victim. The spectacle was so heated, in every sense of the word, that Prelate almost had a stroke. I still consider that one of my finest ideas of all time. Should the Crusaders ever succeed in their efforts against the World Moon, I will do my utmost to get permission to hold a grand public celebration. Rivers of wine, free of charge, an obligatory parade and carnival in the evening, a contest for the most provocative succubus costume with a hefty prize in gold, another contest where the participants have to fish a sausage out of a wine jar blindfolded with their hands tied behind their back. The wine will symbolize the blood of all the dead heroes of the war, and the sausage, well, they'll find a heroic meaning for that as well. Over the years, the commemoration of the greatest victory of light over darkness will turn into an ordinary holiday, a fine excuse to get sloshed and rut around like animals in the streets. Do you enjoy being mean to everybody? Yes. Oh, okay. And here I thought you were just hurling insults at people purely by accident. Darren laughs. This time his smile is surprisingly soft. I like your way with words. What did you expect me to say if I wanted to make a good impression? Something along the lines of, I'm not mean, I'm just honest with myself and everyone else? That's what people use as an excuse when they want to keep their facade, keep up their facade while still saying whatever nasty little thoughts spring to mind. That's not what I do. I have no hidden agenda. I'm just as much of an insufferable prick as I seem to be. Some people are simply begging for a good dose of mockery, so who am I to deny them? I don't give a damn if anyone holds a grudge against me, which is why I don't even try to avoid it. Okay, well I got no more questions about all that. I hope this conversation was at least a little bit amusing. I'd like to talk about life in Mendev and the Crusade. Ask, I'm all ears. What's your opinion on Mendev today in general? It doesn't exist, Darren scowls. It's a frontier country that has attracted every utopian adventurer and fanatic from all over the world for more than a century. This is a place where the strangers outnumber the locals, especially in the cemeteries. The population of Mendev, for the most part, consists of humans and other races not exactly known for their longevity, so the current generation of Mendevians were born in the shadow of the world wound and raised by the Crusades. I might be the last person to complain about the decline of traditions and lack of character in our country, but I also happen to come from one of Mendev's most ancient lineages. Its history is bred deep in my bones. Tutors told me stories about my heritage. The galleries, libraries, and even interiors of the manors I grew up in were filled to the brim with memories of events long past. There are many heroes of old Mendev among my glorious ancestors, who are at the very least patrons and contemporaries of such heroes. Does anyone actually remember them now? I don't think so. These days Mendev has its own heroes in shining armor with holy fire in their eyes. I myself remember how several streets that once celebrated my ancestors were renamed in honor of some crusaders who had died in a heroic fashion. None of the citizens remember the old crossing festival that was eventually replaced by the Armasi. These holidays even share the same date. Pretty much the only authentic thing about Mendev now is its endless war with the demons, and there is a point in bemoaning the state of affairs. What's gone is gone, but at least we are no longer some tiny god-forsaken northern kingdom, and that's something, isn't it? You really don't like Crusaders, do you? Quite the opposite. When I think how many devoted heroes are willing to protect the world against demonic threat, I feel so inspired. Inspired to continue indulging my vices while they keep fighting to keep me safe. Imagine being someone like me, someone who has everything they can possibly desire. Youth, beauty, wealth, an honest wish to live and enjoy living, but vanishing few days to put it all to any use. The fact that the word fun itself is not yet outlawed in Mendev must be due to some bureaucratic oversight. You can celebrate your victims solemnly, but you can wet your whistle after a challenging battle, but what about real fun, joys, pleasures? I can't remember a single evening at court without someone chastening me for my banquets, my lovers, my mistresses, my luxuriant clothes, my everything. It would have been a lot easier to tolerate all those hypocrites if they took a break once in a while. Instead, there was a constant fuss about how I wasn't doing anything for the greater good and how I only brought shame to my royal cousin. Alright, well, what do you think about our enemies? What do you mean, the demons themselves or their followers? The former deserve to be cleansed with heavenly fire for their unholy origin alone, and the latter for their idiocy. I don't understand why a sane person would submit themselves to Tiscari or Cabriri. Alright, Lady Nocticula almost seems like a bearable enough mistress. Yet there are so many other cultists. They've tried to recruit me twice already, and I'm not even that old. First, a very pretty tiefling girl tried to seduce me. Then they came with promises of Lord Baphomet's endless boons. I still wonder what exactly the old horned head could offer me that I don't already have. You know what I've been thinking? Every shopkeeper knows this trick. An enticing offer along the lines of, 1 in every 100 buns from my bakery contains a silver coin, and of course a hired actress to make a memorable show of finding said coin in her sweet roll. And there you have it. Hundreds of gullible fools storm the shop, hoping to win a prize for themselves. I think the infamous Arilu Vorlish was such an actress for the Lords of the Abyss, a petty Sarkarian witch who became the uncrowned queen of the world wound, waited upon hand and foot by demon lords. Only instead of visiting a bakery, gullible fools rushed to join the cultists. We have an army of unbelievably powerful supernatural invaders from another dimension hell-bent on destruction and domination. And what do those fools do? They serve them willingly as pawns and lackeys, hoping against hope that someday their masters will notice them. You won't believe how delighted I am to be so vain and self-absorbed. These sins protect me against demonic temptation better than any virtue. Can't think of anything else at the moment. Wonderful. What made you join my party, after all? You mean instead of cruising far away from Kenabris with a small army of mercenaries to protect me? I'll get to that. You see, when you appeared at my door out of nowhere, awash with bravery and heroism, and started tossing demons around like rag dolls, I thought that your company might be more exciting than my usual crowd of sycophantic hangers-on. You seemed competent and mysterious at the same time, so I decided that a little demon hunting wouldn't hurt, especially with such an intriguing entourage. That party had been growing staler with every passing second anyway. Needless to say, I'm not here for long. I shall return to the capital or even one of my country estates as soon as we reclaim the city. Crusades bellowing commanders, row upon row of identical tents, that's not the life for me. But I will certainly remember you and our adventures together, for a week or perhaps even longer. I should go.
We march ahead.
I'm gonna save that for later. I'm sick of reading all those.
Our path leads on.
Okay. Whoa. No. No.
I stand ready. I will guide us.
No. I fucked up and I didn't get a companion. Oh, I'm upset about that. I'm gonna hit this basement and see if I can... So I don't remember if he's in this basement or not. But I suppose I might as well check. Damn, that sucks.
It's on.
How the hell did he get out?
We march ahead.
Damn, man, that sucks. Maybe I can get him down the road? I don't know. I actually liked him. I don't think he would have done well in my party, at least not for long, because he was kind of evil, but...
Our path leads on.
Fuck, that sucks.
I will guide us.
Can somebody, like, clean this blood up?
Godspeed.
Why is everybody, like, dead?
Let us press on.
Because I need to sleep, that's why. Sleep before the battle, not after. Understandable.
We march ahead.
So why the hell is that so damn big? Yep, rest. Come on, everybody, feel good. Hey, what the hell? There we go. Talk about 5 frames per second.
Our path leads on. I will guide us.
Yeah, I'll accept it. Come on, loading screen. Load just a little bit faster. I swear I must be waiting 10 minutes out of my game time at least for loading screens. It's gonna take 3 whole hours? Oh my goodness, that's so wrong. Oh well.
I will fight.
Oh, yeah, that kind of sucks. These guys, I was gonna say, we should really be taking these guys one at a time.
Let us not hesitate.
Ah,
Godspeed.
not worried about poison. Keep it moving. Alright, stop at the hang cultist first. Jeez. Yup. Ah, yeah. That wine cellar's got some strong shit in it. I remember that. I definitely remember that. Pixdaxian. Aw, man, I didn't even see Simus here. Tisk tisk.
Let us press on.
I found something.
Good, good, good. Let's take it. It's ours.
We march ahead.
Oh, the real reason I'm mad that I didn't get him is because I could add just about every damn scroll to his spell book. Now I don't know if anybody else can do that. My guy, I'm pretty sure, is not made for that shit. Well, damn. Caleb. A stocky knight with a head of messy black hair stands before you, his armor spattered with blood. He greets you with a deep, booming voice. The hefty crusader smiles merrily, paying no heed to the blood-curdling shrieks coming from the pyre and the acrid smell of burning flesh. They burn well enough, don't they? Cursed traitors. Arilu's minions. These vermin infiltrated the crusaders' forces and aided the demons from inside the city. But I caught them. I'm Captain Caleb Sazamal. And these men are my subordinates. Your name ain't gonna matter for too much longer, I'll tell you that. Take a closer look at the ruthless crusader. Caleb is talking too loudly, all while casting sidelong looks at you. You have seen similar behavioral quirks before in liars. Examine the crusader's armor and the symbols on it. You notice that the emblems on the armor of the two silent crusaders belong to the Order of the Flaming Lance, but Caleb's armor bears the sigil of the Order of the Sunrise Sword. Strange, then, that he introduced himself as their captain. Something is not right here. The words fly out of your mouth before you can even think them. Some gut instinct told you that this is precisely what needs to be said at this moment. And the words hit their target. The crusaders jump in surprise and look at each other in terror. Darren. The corners of Darren's mouths are twitching, like he's struggling with all his might not to burst out laughing. Sir, we didn't know you were one of us. You heard him put the flames out. Cuffing his lackeys around the head, Caleb herds them straight toward the fire. All three of them start trying to fight the flames, showing no concern for their own safety. An inexplicable feeling of righteousness flows through you. You enjoy seeing the look of oafish terror in the faces of the crusader and his lackeys when you rebuke them for their fecklessness. Quickly, you worms! If you keep dawdling, I'll throw you into the furnace at the Grey Garrison! Whoever doesn't pull... Nah. Caleb grunts in wordless terror and desperately fights the flames. Every so often he sends murderous looks at his associates who he has clearly already condemned to death. You blithering idiots, you cack-handed dimwits, you empty suits of armor. You watch in satisfaction as Caleb and his two lackeys rush to put out the alchemist's fire. Their armor becomes covered in soot and welts rise on their skin from the flames. Succumbing to another strange, radical impulse, you chivvy them along with barked orders and florid invective. Whoever doesn't pull his weight is a dead man. I'll take the other two into Baphomet's forces. Caleb, with a weary look in your direction, Caleb abandons his own attempts to quell the flames and turns his focus to thumping and kicking his subordinates to hurry them along. The method proves surprisingly effective, and the flames begin to dwindle. Listen to your gut. Stop wasting valuable fuel. If you'd like burning books, go rig the Grey Garrison Library. Our enemies might try to sneak in there. Step to it. Darren looks at you with amused curiosity and speaks in a soft voice. I do enjoy your sense of humor. It's quite fiery. Ha, it's nothing more. It's going to be more fun later on, you'll see. So you want to turn the world upside down and make the Crusades into something else instead of deadly boring and painfully pretentious? Darren gives you an incredulous smile. You're insane. I like that. You can count on my help, at least for the next day or two, before I get bored with this folly. There's plenty more where that came from, sir. I'll do everything you've ordered. Just as soon as those Crusaders arrive, they'll be dead meat. I'll go make sure that we get make it another 2 barrels of Alchemist's fire from the Grey Garrison storeroom. Things are gonna burn right up in there. Storyteller, a blind elf stands before you. He looks extremely strange. His face wears his years heavily, which is unusual for members of his race. Thinning gray hair, a ragged beard, sightless, milky eyes, pale, papery skin that covers in age spots, a spine curved from the passage of time. This is not how elves typically age. The youth that graces the face of elves, even on their deathbed, has totally abandoned this decrepit specimen. That is an elf, with a beard. I guess the worst can be found even among the best. The old elf holds out his hand in your direction in the perennial gesture of the blind, greeting you with an unexpectedly strong and calm voice. Hello, I am Storyteller, and I wish to thank my rescuers. That is you, if I'm not mistaken. Who are you? The old elf frowns. I prefer people to call me Storyteller. It accurately describes the sphere of my occupations and interests. In most of the places I have been, I am known by that name. You've piqued my curiosity. A storyteller. Are you a bard? If so, you should come perform at one of my parties, instead of knocking about in this dusty library. A bard? In some sense, yes. But not the type of bard that performs at festivities. I think your guests would lose their appetite after hearing my tales. What a shame, and I was so hoping to wheel you out for my guests. With your unusual appearance, you would have caused quite the scandal. But lugubrious bards are of no use for me. Half the bards in the city are the same. Their repertoire is confined to the one about longing, and the one that causes indigestion, and the one that's a complete waste of time. I mean, really, how is one supposed to host a party with that? When I was little, my mother and father used to tell me stories, but I have no one to tell me stories now. Sometimes Grandma does in my dreams, but I always forget them in the morning. Can you tell me a story? The corner of the blind elf's mouth slowly creeps up. For you, I may have a story to tell, but perhaps it is you who has a story for me. How come you didn't burn in the fire? Good fucking question. To tell the truth, I myself do not know. I felt the heat, and it was so strong. I waited for the pain and the burning, but I was unscathed. But the smoke nearly did finish me off. It may be some sort of magical protection against fire, but I don't know by what means I may have acquired it. Just another oddity from my collection of inexplicable... Gloom steals across the storyteller's pensive face. I want to talk to you about something. The old elf responds with dignity and courtesy, but firmly. And thanks for my rescue. I, of course, will render you a service in turn, whatever it may be. However, at this moment I wish to be somewhere safer than the present surroundings. My recent adventures have fatigued me greatly. I would be grateful if you could help me to a safe shelter of some kind. The stubborn set of the elf's mouth tells you he won't change his mind. I'm taking you to the Defender's Heart. Please accept my sincere thanks once again, and if I may, please don't rush. I will struggle to keep up with your young legs. I guess we're going there, man. I didn't want to fucking go there right off the bat, but I guess that's what we're doing. Yeah. What? There's spells? There's magic spell rituals I can use that give me a boost in the economy? That's kind of interesting. I can't wait to get to that point. That'll be cool.
I will guide us.
All ingredients. No. I don't need to search anything. Oh, that's...
Godspeed. Let us press on.
The blind elf looks better than he did in your last encounter. His clothes are clean and his pale face has some color. The elf turns to you and listens closely. Is that you, my savior? I recognized your footsteps, determined footsteps, befitting a determined person. Allow me to thank you again for saving me. Please accept this humble gift as a token of my appreciation. The elf hands you a small black ring with 2 scarlet runes on it. The storyteller's ring. Irabeth has explained why you were looking for me. I warned the authorities of Kenabris that the local wardstone had been desecrated. They waved off my warning and paid for their inaction. I have examined many wardstones, but only in the one guarding Kenabris did I sense a flaw, a spot of corruption inside, a vulnerability the demons will surely use. They are able to spread the blight inside the wardstone, corrupt it, and make it their weapon. It frightens me to think that what it will be capable of. The wardstone must be destroyed. Who are you, and why did they let you examine the wardstone? The elf smiles faintly. I am the storyteller, just an old elf, and a bit more. I am old even for an elf. I have seen many things and have been to many places. Not so long ago I witnessed the making of a young kingdom in the stolen lands, led by a remarkable and promising individual. My advice on the complicated matter of conquering those lands proved useful to that leader. It is not uncommon for me. Some seek my advice or services, and I don't refuse. This is how I acquired my reputation as an old vagrant who has never hurt anyone, stayed out of other squabbles, but sometimes gave good advice. I have a few friends in Nirison who vouched for my integrity. This is why my humble request to be allowed to see the wardstones was granted. I visited all of them, but only found cause for alarm in Kenabris. Do you wield some special magic power or instinct? The storyteller chuckles. Yes, to a certain extent, but it is more of a gift. I can see the past, stories that have happened. I touch an object and shreds of owners' memories are revealed to my mind. Their emotions, passions, and tragedies. I see visions like I am them, and their stories happen to me. This is my power. I've been roaming the world gathering such stories for many thousands of years. One day I will gather them all. What blight is concealed in the wardstone? I'm afraid I don't have the answer to your question. To understand the nature of this blight, we need to understand how the wardstone was created, and it is hidden from me. I can only guess. Have you ever heard of the Red Morning Massacre? A dreadful morning remembered with fear even by those not yet born at the time? A demoness called Minago invaded the city with a crowd for her followers and started to do what demons do best, kill and desecrate. They say they had covered the wardstone with pieces of dead bodies and splashed it with blood from top to bottom. Could such an abomination darken the radiance of the gift Iameda herself? The locals think this is impossible, but who knows? It is not the last attack. Many demon leaders brought their unholy forces here, even the terrifying Balor Koramzadeh. Their attacks were rebuffed, but they still reached their target. I think this is when the seed of corruption was planted in the stone. It wouldn't have grown on its own, but Tuscari himself has now come to take advantage of this weakness, to open the abscess that has been festering for years, unnoticed by the people of Kenabris. And when the demon lord struck the blow, the weakened stone gave in. Now it's in the demon's hands, and nothing is stopping them from spreading the blight throughout the entire stone, and from it to the other stones along with the whole perimeter of the world wound. Why did you travel to the wardstones? I tried to see their stories. The visions I had when I touched the wardstones were unclear. I saw hundreds, maybe thousands of different stories at the same time. They followed each other like flashes of lightning. It was impossible to separate them. I couldn't understand where one of them ended and the next began. I have heard you, storyteller. In that case, you must make every possible effort to destroy the corruption. Unfortunately, I don't know where to get an instrument powerful enough to banish it from the wardstone, and as far as I know, there is nothing like it in Kenabris, but the demons might have something. I heard the dying roar of Teren, the protector of the city. At the same time, I felt a wave of unfamiliar power sweep over me from head to toe. I would advise you to go to where Terendel perished and search for something. I'm sorry I can't be more specific, but intuition and a strange sense of rightness tells me to point you there. Present the purple stone knife. I found it in the square where Terendelev perished. What do you make of it? The storyteller reaches out and softly says, even from here I can feel strange energies emanating from this object. If you don't mind, I will examine it, using my method. I will try to see the past of its owner, their emotions, and shreds of their memories. Maybe it will help us better understand what we're dealing with. The storyteller touches the knife, his fingers clamping around the hilt with a hungry, masterful grip. His face contorts into an evil grimace, his voice disgustingly raspy. Hunger. My many legs bring me into the lair, to my mother's feasting hall. Her swollen body, overfilled with food, is so huge that I have to look at it with all of my eyes at once. On top of her scrawny little head with a long beak that is always yearning for more food. You feel feverish, and your chest where the mysterious wound is concealed feels hot. Your mind is flooded with a wave of visions, visions that repeat the words of the old elf. Mother greets me with a placid screech, stupid, greedy wretch, whose only achievement is my birth. A creeping, wingless creature, it's your fault I have no wings, a symbol of greatness, a birthright I should have received from my mighty father. Mother points me to a crowd of whimpering subjects, suggesting I fortify myself with their pathetic flesh. Not today. I summon my spawn and they fly to me, enveloping me in a teeming cloud. Like dark buzzing wings, they unfold behind my back and lift me up. Mother has always been stronger, but she did not expect this. I dive on her and rip her limp, bloated body with my claws. Ichor splatters, the blood spurs on my heels sink into her flesh. I clench her pitiful tiny head and tear it off along with the shreds of meat. Victory. I am the strongest. I am the son of my winged father. The elf grimaces with distaste. His voice becomes normal again. Appalling. Stories like that are most difficult ones to keep with me. Did this knife belong to a demon? The storyteller opens his mouth to answer, but a sudden spasm crosses his face. A new vision, a much stronger one, engulfs the old elf. The malevolent undertones vanish from his voice as it grows more determined and tired. Even looking at the wardstone is difficult. Despite the corruption nesting in it, it still has an aura of strength. Your fingers clench the stone hilt so tight it hurts. A little spot on the flawless surface of the wardstone draws your attention. It looks like a butterfly. Corruption in the guise of something utterly harmless, but it will grow. You swing and stab at the butterfly with a knife as hard as you can. Your fingers cramp painfully. A howl invades your ears. Light, white light everywhere. The stone knife falls from the old elf's hand. Out of breath, he drops to his knees. He is trembling, the terror on his face so unlike his usual dignified manner. What was that? That was not the past. That was something that is yet to happen, or rather might happen. One of the roads to the future. In one of the possible futures, this item will help you to cleanse the wardstone, or destroy it. You feel a longing to take the stone chisel and plunge it into your chest, right into the wound that has opened up in it. It's hard to resist this feeling, but at the last moment, your self-preservation instinct takes over, and you manage to keep control of your own hands. The old man stands up. He looks completely stunned. Never before has anything like that happened to me, but now, I am not an oracle or a prophet, or is this another riddle from the past that has caught up with me? I must find out. Seeing stories that have happened is one thing. Seeing stories that are yet to happen, I don't know why this is happening now, but there is one thing I'm sure of. This is not a coincidence. This is a sign of coming changes. Great changes. I shared your vision, and this knife tempted me. Did you see what I saw? This has never happened before. Could it be the magic of the object you brought me? I sense dark energies in it that can cloud and charm the mind. Be careful with this item. It may have tried to influence you, but you managed to overcome its power and subdue it. Or perhaps something else happened to us, something we don't understand yet. Can you see the future? I don't know. Obviously I can, but nothing like this has ever happened to me before. The future never opened its secrets to me before I met you. Gods, who are you and why have our paths crossed? I feel this is not a coincidence. Something momentous is happening. Destiny is pushing us towards something, but what? Questions without answers. I swear, this morning I couldn't have imagined what awaited me. Maybe it's that knife that gives you the power of divination. This knife is a powerful artifact, but I feel that its power of a different nature. No, I felt the same way I do when I tell the past. This is my gift, but it manifested in a completely abnormal way. Is what you saw destined to happen? No, the future is not set. It used to be a long time ago when the god Arodin guarded Galorian. But not now. Prophecies do not come true. Or they do, but they're not the way they're supposed to. I only saw one version of the future, one of the paths leading to it, but the choice has not been made and our destinies are not set in stone. Who were you in your vision? I don't know. Someone strong and desperate enough to resort to extreme measures. I felt that what I was doing had to be done. Your powers are amazing. A few minutes ago I would have agreed with you, but the thing that just happened, it disturbs me. My gift has never manifested like this. Something has changed, and these changes frighten me. Please examine the items I'm carrying. Perhaps some of them could tell us a story? Let me touch them, and I'll tell you what I see. The old elf carefully takes Yanyel's sword, Radiance. Powerful forces lie dormant in the sword. It used to belong to an incredibly bright and daring soul. The storyteller's hand runs carefully over the scale that has still not lost its shine. Proud Terendelev, protector of Kenabris, you devoted your life to serving people. Your death is a great loss, but maybe I will be able to find out something about you that is unknown to your many admirers. The storyteller fiddles with a fragment of a gold buckle. An old thing, created long ago by divine will, but the power that gave birth to it is lost in the darkness. However, the relic still lives on, though it has changed. I wonder what secret it is hiding. Would you like to know? Bring me 5 vials of magic essence, and I will reveal this object, and with it, its story. Present a stone knife. Tell me about its previous owner. The storyteller touches the knife, his fingers clamping around the hilt with a hungry, masterful grip. Hunger. Oh no. We went through this. We went through this. Storyteller touches the blade with his finger. Sadness rings in his voice. Dresden is doomed. Demons attacked right when we lost the protection of the Sword of Valor. My city, my bastion of hope. We built you as a symbol that the lands mutilated by the Abyss could still be restored to by mortals. Now you are perishing, and there is nothing I can do. We retreat. No, we flee. A frightened crowd rushes out into the night through the southern gate. They are chased by the angry howls of demons killing the last defenders of the citadel. My heart goes out to them, but I'm standing still on the wall. I'm covering the retreat. Demons do not attack. They seethe around you, fall from the sky, strike from all sides at once. They can't be stopped, but they can be distracted. I run to the upper floor of the gate tower. Radiance glows with the golden light in my hand. I permit myself to close my eyes for just one heartbeat. I imagine that the soft glimmer of the sword I see through my closed eyelids is the light of the summer sun. I smile. I open my eyes and call out, "Hey, Daskari spawn, who wants the best trophy of the night? You know my name, Yanyel. You know how many of you I have killed with this very hand. You want to curry favor with Derazand, Minago, or the echo of your lord? Bring them my head, if you can." Roaring and screaming, they rush towards me in a wave of deformed bodies and unfurled wings. The wave crashes against me, spattering my armor with bloody froth. Broken wings and chopped-up body plummet to the foot of the tower. In the heat of battle, I see Joran's pale face down there. He looks up at me in desperation, but he can't help. He's carrying 2 wounded on his shoulders. My city will fall, but my friends will survive. This is what I'm fighting for. I'm covering the retreat. The flow of fleeing people gradually dwindles. My armor is broken in many places. I cannot heal my wounds anymore. The last demon I stabbed with radiance suddenly recoils, tearing the handle out of my blood-slickened hand. He flies up, but falls somewhere far beyond the walls, by the road, being taken by those fleeing. No more golden glow in my hands. The night closes in on me, filled with shrieking, mocking demon laughter. Dresden, I'm dying with you, light of the sword, righteous Amadea, accept my soul. The storyteller runs his hand over the blade with a sad smile. I know whose memory this is. I've heard about her many times. Yanyel was a true crusader. Touching her memories is so cleansing. Do you see the future of this sword? Just one of the numerous possibilities. The elf touches the sword hilt, and metal rings in his voice. I slide out of the sheath swiftly. I proudly watch the army of warriors led by my lord. I sing, slashing the air, putting courage in their hearts. I am Radiance. Tremble, city of Dresden. My lady Yanyel has perished, but I am not done yet. Charge. The storyteller returns the sword to you. It's nice to know that this sword's glory days are not over. It has many battles ahead. Take care of it. It's a glorious sword. Show Tyrendaliv's scale to Storyteller. Tell me about Tyrendaliv. Storyteller takes a deep breath and smiles. I am flying. I can finally spread my wings. I'm gliding over a broad river. The sunset has turned its surface smooth like a mirror, and I see my reflection. It is as if another silver dragon is rising to meet me from the depths. But what is it? The scales in my chest are black, and the darkness is spreading over my body. I wake up. A clear sky swaves above me, blazing with heat. I am in human form. The red dust of the wound clings to my cracked lips. Someone is carrying me on a stretcher made of shields and spears. I am so weak I can barely lift my hand to my face. The sight of my own hand terrifies me. It is black, and the skin glistens like the scales melted by fire. I probably ought to cry, but I only feel hatred and nausea. All these people around me, out of sympathy for them, out of sympathy for them, did I choose to leave the mountains. I gave up my flights over rivers. I went to the demon's lair. They don't have a scratch on them, but I am infected with foulness. It's not fair. My life is more precious than their pathetic existence. Oh, how I hate them in this moment. And then I suddenly feel shame. No, these are not my thoughts. The Crusaders are carrying me, are my good friends. I am glad they did not suffer. But I hate them, and I hate myself so much more. Pain and hatred pierce me all at once. It's all because of them. All because of them. Someone walking beside me touches me, talks to me, but the only thing I hear is, your mentor. He will come. He will help. I lose consciousness. The storyteller takes a deep breath, exiting the vision. Such hatred from Tyrendaliv? Wasn't she on our side? Tyrendaliv has come a long way. Her unit was ambushed by demons once, and she was infected with foulness. The Tyrendaliv you met in Kenabris had gone through many trials to regain her former purity. So what happened next? The storyteller put his hand on his forehead. Sometimes the past can be as vague as the future. We all know how Tyrendaliv's story ended, but the beginning is hidden from us. Maybe if you find something else that used to belong to her, we will know more about her struggle. Oh, we have more important things to do, storyteller. Can I help you? I appreciate your offer. I have reason to believe that somewhere in Kenabris there is a manuscript authored by an elf from Kionin who witnessed Earthfall. The storyteller's voice suddenly breaks, and he stops for a moment. For personal reasons, I would like to examine it, but no matter how hard I try, I've failed to find it. Even in the Blackwing Library, I only found a mention that the manuscript exists and is somewhere in the city. I assume it's stored in the Grey Garrison. They wouldn't let me into the archive when I visited. All those Crusaders were nervous about the strange blind elf interested in their secrets. It's understandable. The Crusade naturally made them a little paranoid, but now the Grey Garrison has fallen into enemy hands. I would be grateful if I could see the manuscript. Yeah. I want to know more about you. I'm not surprised. A strange, peculiar-looking elf with unusual powers who comes from afar calls himself a collector of stories. Such things usually spark some interest. I will answer your questions. Who are you and where are you from? Before, I would have said I was a blacksmith from Kionin who lost his sight and then found his true calling in a new craft, that of a story collector. But I have lately begun to suspect that those words are no more than a lie. The old elf chuckles sadly. It's quite the irony. I never thought I'd have cause to complain about my memory. It holds the stories of the entire world, but I've noticed more and more alarmingly signs recently. I've encountered ancient stories and see myself in them. I don't remember those events, but stories cannot lie, so it means my memory is lying, and I intend to get to the bottom of it. I'm looking for proof that my visions are true, and for the reason why my past has been hidden from me. You look ancient, man. I thought elves didn't get old. As you can see, we do if we manage to live for many thousands of years. There may not be a single mortal in this world than me. Anyway, it's not about time, it's about the stories I keep inside. There's so much suffering and sadness in this world, and in my stories too. I've lived every one of them. I've drunk this bitter experience and accepted it in my heart. It's hard, the weight of all the suffering on my shoulders, but I wouldn't trade my burden for any other. Where did you get your strange powers? I've always got along well with things. I used to be a blacksmith, that I know for sure. I've always felt the essence of things, their spirit, for as long as I can remember. I've always been able to feel the traces of memories and feelings left on things by their former owners. I don't know where the gift came from. Maybe having taken my sight, the gods granted me another sense. How do you see into the future? I cannot say. Such visions are new to me. My instinct has always worked towards the past, not the future. But some things change. Everything changes. So do I. Perhaps right now the stories that are yet to happen are more important than the ones that have happened already. Why did you come to the World Moon? Searching for the truth about my real past has brought me here. I saw myself in other stories. In them I was called the Elf in the Tower. Now I'm looking for this tower. My tower. Everywhere. I've been to many places. I visited islands and deserts, but I haven't found it. There are very few uncharted territories on my map. The World Moon is one of them. How do you collect stories? The same way a court philanderer collects his conquests. The way a healer has a personal cemetery of patients he failed to serve. The way every person, including you, has a box of secrets, most precious experience deep down in their soul, that no one is allowed to touch. The world is not made of things or matter even. It's made of stories. They move from the past to the future, piercing our world at the point of here and now. They give meaning to everything. They are the meaning, and everything else is only the setting required for stories to exist. There is nothing more real and alive than a story, and anything real and alive can die or be destroyed, distorted, forgotten. But as long as I carry these stories with me, they will not be lost. This is why I don't often share my stories. By sharing one with you, I give you the right to tell it to others, to distort and embellish it, advertently or inadvertently. How can I be sure you will keep its original purity? Stories travel from one person to another. They change, become distorted, turn into tall tales. This is why I keep my stories to myself. Yeah, I have a few questions about our encounter at Blackwing Library, maybe? Of course, I make no secret of why I came to the library. I was looking for something. What were you doing there? I was looking for a very old thing. Rumor has it some ancient scroll or book page about the times of Earthfell is held in Kennebrus. According to the legend, it describes the last days of the proud kingdom of Keonan, later abandoned by the elves fleeing Golarion. I have a vague hope that the events described in it will shed some light on my past. Did you find what you were looking for? The storyteller shakes his head gloomily. Alas, no, but I found proof that the book I'm looking for is in Kennebrus, or at least part of it is. I see. I gotta go.
We march ahead.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta go to
Our time has
the
come.
Market Square. Get that last guy.
Our path leads
Hey,
on.
they cleaned up the blood and got the gate fixed. Nice. Yeah, we're good with that. Go ahead. Alright. What else is there to do here? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could do that, but I'm not gonna. Not just yet, you know. Woo, we're gonna try to make this work. We're gonna try. I know I still have to go to the Market Square for whoever, but if I can get this done first, I would like to get in there.
another obstacle.
Alright, yeah.
Strike as one.
Please, strike as one. For the love of God, these guys don't fuck around.
Attack! We shall overcome.
Come on, kill him! Damn it!
Do not hold back.
Damn, how the hell did she get so corrupted off that?
Together we stand. I will not falter. I will see
Oh, okay, that's
this
not too
through.
bad. I can deal with that.
I stand ready. I will guide us.
Oh. Oh.
Godspeed.
Can't hide from
Oh,
me.
yeah. I want to see it. I want to see it. Didn't want to tell me what it was, but that's fine. That's fine. Tempest. Oh, it'll tell me right there. It's actually not that great. Not surprising.
We march ahead.
Okay, we'll stop off at the market square. The middle point anyway of anything else I have to do. Boop, boop, boop. I believe I've taken care of everything in here anyway. I just gotta talk to this one guy and that's it. Should be it, but load up. Come on, load up. Load up. Come on, load up.
Our path leads
Alright,
on.
I want to say they're here, maybe? I'll just follow them along and see if maybe it's anywhere else.
I will guide us. Godspeed.
Maybe?
The mongrel did it.
I don't remember.
Let us press on. We march ahead.
Oh,
Save
cool.
the last
Guess
one
I
for
didn't
me.
take care of everything.
Let us not hesitate. Our path leads on.
A brimarack.
I will guide us.
So they're not in here. Damn it. Where are you?
Godspeed.
Thanks, Lan. You're so awesome,
Let us
Lan.
press on.
Could have swore that they were up there, but I guess not. Guess not.
We march ahead. Our path leads on.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll take that, whatever it is. Sure. Why wouldn't I?
I will guide us.
Is that a trap? It might be a trap.
But it's not, so just take it and be happy you found it.
Godspeed. Let us press on.
Oh shit, there was more over here.
Defeat is not an option.
Yeah!
Oh, thank you for amusing me.
Come on, come on. There we go.
Together we stand. We march ahead. Our path leads on. Hold on.
Heartbeat
Just a little
quickens.
more.
Oh. Yeah, get his ass. I say he's a little badass, guys, so we need to work together on this one.
This'll leave a
Oh
bruise.
shit. Oh no. Okay, cool.
I will guide us. I always did what was right. Therefore, I became righteous. Does it mean whatever I do now becomes right because I am righteous?
clearly he needs to be the alchemy guy. Oh, okay, cool. I understand what all that's for now. Nifty. Well, since we don't need any scroll scribed, you're off the hook, brother.
You fight demons with such joy. Do you really enjoy their suffering?
Shove that somewhere else. Demons are demons. Why are you sympathizing with them?
No! How bad's my corruption?
Godspeed.
Let's see. What do we
Ew,
have
what is
here?
that?
Let us press on.
Come on.
We march ahead.
Alright, well, I still need to find this person, but at least we, like, finished off the map, I guess? Jeez. I just need to find this guy.
Our path leads
Girl,
on.
whatever it is. Where are you at? I got the little scarf thing on so you can tell I'm a
I
friend.
will guide us. Godspeed.
Not that way.
Let us press on.
We are the
What?
light! They are the darkness!
Who the fuck are these? I could have sworn I'd already gone through everything. Huh. Quick, easy battle. Nothing foolish. I'll take it.
I will see this through. We march ahead.
Second guessing everything right now.
Our path leads on.
Not in the graveyard.
I will guide us. Godspeed. Let us press on.
Did we find trouble? No.
Strike as one.
Okay, pause. Pause. Light of the Angels. Smite evil. Enlarge. Sela. Oh, I can have them both on? Sweet. He's already good. What is that? No. Try some vulnerability. And then you, sir. He's gotten hit with a few things that should really help weaken him a lot. Sela's getting wrecked right now. Oh no. He is the biggest target on the field though. You should be good on the rest of these guys.
Shall not falter. Forgive me for this failure.
Oh my god, they got two of my guys. Ah, come on. Got plenty of healing potions for it, but geez.
Am I at my limit?
Yeah, guys,
So
start
this is
hitting,
how it
because...
feels?
Oh, man. You guys can't go out to one ghoul creeper. Come on. Oh, wow. Whew. Now to set about healing everybody. Jeez.
We march
horrible.
ahead.
Horrible.
I stand ready.
Ugh, the waiting's never fun.
Alright. Inflict moderate wounds on Renat. Do it again. And one more. Alright. Sela.
Magritium Turinos. Magritium Turinos. Magritium Turinos. Magritium Turinos. Magritium Turinos. Magritium Turinos. Magritium Turinos.
Let us not
Well,
hesitate.
you've proved your usefulness in one go. And that's all you have now. That's it. Just that one time to heal everybody. And, hopefully you don't need to heal yourself down the line until we sleep again. Shit.
Godspeed.
And I still have yet to find the person I need to talk to. Fuck. I guess I'm literally going through the entire area before I find them.
I'm sure they mean us no harm.
Where did all these enemies come from, man?
I will not falter. Let us press on.
God. This is heinous.
This task is beyond me. We march ahead. Our path leads on.
Oh, what? It didn't do anything? It just made 3 hours go by? What the fuck was that?
I will guide us. I do not believe this is possible.
I would like some time to collect myself.
Forget it.
Why the fuck? Oh my goodness.
Let us press on.
Don't get too far ahead of me. I'm trying to see if whoever I'm supposed to see is friggin' here. Jeez. Guess I'm gonna follow them. The only two people who aren't dragon ass.
They will break
Oh, nice.
the
Yep.
resolve.
There would be some dead things to take care of here by myself. Shit.
Hold on. Just a little more. Together we stand. We march ahead.
Yeah, we do, but to what fucking end at this point? I mean, jeez.
We are the light. They are
We
the
shall
darkness.
overcome. I shall not falter. Do not hold back. Strike as one. Forgive me
Ah,
for
you
this.
fucking bitches.
Our path leads on. I will guide us. Godspeed. Our time has come. Let us press on.
Dummy. Pardon me, I saw you as that Shaw. Does that mean you're a friend of Veronka's? What am I saying? Of course it does. So, finally found the fucker. Inquisitor. The young man's speech is interrupted by the arrival of a new cast of characters. People in the robes of Amadea's Inquisitors appear from all sides, surrounding him. Adept Thal of the Temple of Desna, you are under arrest on suspicion of treason, and aiding the demons. You have 1 minute to come quietly. Drag your feet, and we'll count that as an attempt to resist justice. Damn. Prelate Helrune appears behind his people. And here's the traitor who almost corrupted the Wardstone with his magic. You didn't think that the disorder and demonic presence in the city would distract us from pursuing traitors, did you? The youth's eyes go wide. He says nothing, clearly not knowing what to do. You are torturing this poor boy for nothing, and I can't stand for this. The Inquisitor's brow furrows. You bear the gift of heaven, and you're taking the side of a delinquent and conspirator. Heaven knows not only righteous anger, but mercy as well. You fool!
Bear witness to my power!
The Inquisitor gazes at the light, not even blinking. His face reveals the desperate inner struggle. At last he rubs his temples. I do not know why you are standing in the way of justice, but I do not wish to start a spat between the goddess-righteous warriors in this hour of peril. Let this Desnan riffraff go wherever he likes, just as long as it's out of my sight. When we liberate the city from demons, I will see to it that every one of Ramian's runts and everyone like him will be driven out of Kenabris. Come, faithful, we have no further business here. The young man lets out a sigh of relief as he watches the Inquisitors go. This is just blatantly unfair. We try to protect the city from demons, and instead of helping us, we get hunted by the Inquisitors. Prelate Helrune will be the death of us all, and there's nothing we can do about it. Anyway, thank you. I'd have been done for without you. The Inquisition has gone too far. I'm glad I didn't let them take you. That's it. I don't believe I'll get a fair hearing from Helrune. If it wasn't for you, I'd have been tortured and put to death. But even so, I have my regrets. I think we went too far trying to break into the Wardstone, and we didn't even save anyone. Thanks, baby. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to the Temple of Desna. I want to be alone with the goddess and reflect on all that's happened. Okay, now go to the Temple of Desna.
We march ahead.
Oop. My guys are so slow. There you go.
Our path leads on.
What the hell? Ilks, Aranka, and Thal sit side by side like sparrows on a tree branch. They seem happy despite the chaos going on around them. If it isn't our rescuer, it's good that you've come. Sit with us. I'm pleased to see that you're all fine, but there's still much more work to be done in the city. That's true, Ilks nods. But can we give you a gift before you go? We wouldn't give this to anyone apart from the person who bravely defended us from injustice. The injustice inflicted by the people who should be the pillars of law and order in our city. Our gift, Aranka cuts in, is a song. We call it Starward Gaze, and it came to us from the true servants of Desna from her domain in Elysium. This song can gift a soul with renewed vitality. Just listen. She sings the melody. Oh yeah, I'm chaotic. I'll sing after. You repeat the melody, feeling it coming from somewhere within your heart, and then... When the music stops, Renaud finds himself in a place that looks nothing like the ruins of Kenabris. It all happens in the space of a blink. He closes his eyes on one world and opens them on another one entirely. Delicate twilight enveloped his new world, with streaks of moonlight breaking through the gloom. Renaud is standing in a shallow stream of murmuring water deep in a forest. There is no one else around. Garlands of unfamiliar climbing plants twine around the trunks of gigantic trees, and dangling from their branches are vines, woven into what look remarkably like swings. A carpet of fragrant grasses spreads out among the trees' roots, with islands of phosphorescent moss and lichen dotted here and there. Small, smooth stones with a strange mirrored surface are scattered across the stream bed in which Renaud is standing. The stones catch the light shining down from the heavens, making them gleam silver, and making ordinary little brook look like a stream of darkness carrying a sprinkling of stars throughout the night. Renaud is sure that he's never been to this place before, and yet it all feels so familiar. It is the manifestation, not of dreams or fantasies, but of the special way of looking at the world that only children possess. When a glint of light reflected off a piece of glass becomes a fallen star, when an oddly shaped stone can be a remarkable artifact, when every shadow or twist in a path promises mystery or an incredible adventure, a single glance into the forest stream brings this feeling rushing back. Realizing this, Renaud... clambers up to the nearest tree to play on a vine swing. The stream of starstones babbles away below the swings. The stream of starstones babbles away below. The swings begin to gently move, arcing up and smoothly down again. What lies behind the thrill that this simple pastime gives mortals? Is it the sensation of weightlessness, the hunger for freedom and flight? Whatever it may be, Renaud quickly realizes that he is no longer alone. They come closer, not attempting to hide, stepping lightly on the mossy carpet, leaping from branch to branch, or flitting through the air. The creatures are thoroughly bizarre, as though they were deliberately conceived to try the sanity of every taxonomist on planet. One has the fluttering wings of a butterfly on its back, another has the tails of a dozen different animals, while a third boasts tresses of water, streaming water, hooves instead of feet, and springing clover growing all over its skin. "We have a visitor," exclaims one of the strange creatures, and it immediately pushes the swing, helping it pick up speed. "Who are you?" "We are the Azadas, the children of freedom," says one of the creatures, carelessly swinging from the branches of a tree. "This forest is our home for today. Tomorrow our home could be a lake 100 leagues to the south, or an underground cave in the azure ocean, or a castle of clouds that scatters in the dawn breeze." "Where am I?" "Don't you know where you are?" asks creatures in amazement. "There are plains of breathtaking beauty and plains of astonishing wonders, but only Elysium is woven from the craving for beauty and from the belief in wonders. That is where you are, in the most peaceful, most wonderful corner of the plain of boundless freedom." We don't know how you came to be here, says one of the creature with the dozen tails, smiling. Mortals rarely come to Elysium during their lifetime, but here you are, which means that something must have brought you. Something in your soul. If your soul did not harbor even the slightest spark of freedom, yearning, and compassion, you would never have found your way here. Now that you know the answers, tell us, what do you want? I have to go back. They need me there. The creature with the butterfly wings, who has hitherto remained silent, gives the visitor a serious look and nods to itself. I smell the burning blood and tears of the place you have come from. It clings to you. It is right that you don't wish to turn your back on the suffering of those you left behind. None of us children of Elysium would do such a thing. Go back. Be a bulwark against evil and strife. Your path is true. But would you like to take something from this place as a memento? The question hangs in the air, and though the words that Renaud utter next are merely words, not a spell nor a military command, they seem to have equal bearing on a destiny and life. Yeah, I really want to. I didn't take that in my bad one. The Azatas draw closer. Take this memory with you. Take this light. Take this knowledge that any pebble struck by a moonbeam can be equal to any star. Take the understanding that you cannot fight evil with clever plans until you have conquered evil with your soul, and your soul cannot be cleansed of evil if it is not free. Take our song, remember it, and may it help you, but only when you are true to that which brought you beneath this sky. What just happened? For a second you were surrounded by light. We heard music like the music of Elysium itself. I had a vision. I was in Elysium, and the Azatas spoke to me.